they have been talking to me a lot about dreams, but it's not about sleeping in dreams. It's a lot about things in which you perceive and the dreams in which you perceive to bring into reality. Neptune in retrograde right now is asking us to manifest the impossible. It's asking us to really think the unthinkable, manifest the impossible. And this is why your thoughts and your expression of what you want to bring has been parallel in the seams, is what they've been saying to me. So no bullshit. Before I even got to step on this space, after I came out of meditation, and I just hit play on Spotify, like I don't pick anything. I just hit play. There's not one certain playlist. Okay. The song, I'll play it back for you guys. Because, no bullshit. I'll go back. Because then I was like, okay. And then I went in and meditated again and got ready to come back on live. So, no bullshit. I'll play you the song. And it was, here you go. This was the first song they started with today, after they had given me the message. And Neptune in retrograde is challenging you to dream the impossible. And this is part of the energy shift in the switch, is because the way that you perceive the reality of how the universe plays is changed. So the mindset and the perspective shift has been everything on the clarity that it has brought to give you more sincerity and to give you a new thought, a new direction. So when we're talking about the energies at play, and we're talking about a lot of people stepping into new spiritual reality, their reality, right? Coming into awareness, right? Coming into the awareness of how the universe works, coming into the awareness of themselves in a higher space. It makes sense as the energies that's at play in the planetary alignment, okay? And so they're really wanting you to dream the undreamable because of Neptune in retrograde, because of the alignment. Now, this is what they kept meaning by "you were led astray." And I want you to understand and know that there has been a lot that has come to me this morning, the provisions, yes, you've turned your provisions over to the universe. So what this means is you are being in gratitude and in thanks first, and allowing the universe to bring the blessings in, because you've understood how the universe works. It's not in asking that you receive. It's in as if it's happened. And it's a very hard state to get to. I'm not bullshitting you. Okay, I am not bullshitting you when I say this. Okay, I can't do that. I'm not allowed to sit where I sit and bullshit you. What they mean is, instead of going and asking, when people say act as if, I used to have the same energy and the same attitude towards it. Like, what the fuck you mean act as if? Like, come on, where's the head? There's a disconnect between the head and the heart in that when you just tell somebody that. How do you get to that? So here we are. I'm going to teach you how you get to that, and what that truly means to act as if. Sitting in gratitude before the blessings received is how the universe works universally. Not with thought. Okay, not with thought that you don't have it and you have to ask. It's with intention that you are just in thanks for the blessings that you receive. It doesn't have to be anything specific, because when you limit yourself to specifics, you're limiting the universe to specifics. So that's why they keep pumping gratitude, 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 is because, okay, is because when you sit in the morning with your team and you say, thank you for the blessings of today, I am open to receive. It means you're open to the clarity to receive which way to go. It means you're open to the abundance that what shows up for you at your door is recompense. Now, it may not look the way that you thought it was going to look, but it's the universe giving you that recompense of that blessing that's been on your heart's request. You think that God doesn't know what you need or what you want, or your angels don't know what you need or what you want? They already know what you need or what you want. What's going on, Erica? So therefore, when you sit and say thank you, you don't even have to say thank you. It's knowing. It's a knowing process that this is how it works. And when you sit in that space of saying blessings first, like you are sitting in a space of saying thank you. That's it. Gratitude of the awareness. Because when you're sitting in meditation anyway, you're cultivating the awareness of the serendipity, of the synchronicity. So it's as if it's already happened because you're sitting in that at that moment in meditation, because your heart's already seen. Your heart's already felt. It's by frequency. You don't even have to say anything. But sitting in gratitude and saying thank you for the blessings, because when you feel that energy of the things that you know, the wealth, the health, the abundance, all the transfers that you're feeling energetically have happened because you changed internally. You stopped putting everything else first. You know how they tell you you became more selfish about you? Listen, I'm gonna blow your minds for a minute. You remember when they sit here and they pump it like an IV, self-love, pay attention to self, right? It's because you put God first. At 25 years old, I was told that if I put anything above God, I will lose all of it. And ever since I was 25 years old, I put God and my spirituality on the front line of everything. Everything. Nothing in my life has been a guarantee. And when you realize that nothing in your life has been a guarantee, you come from a different perspective of succeeding within the blessings. Recompense. Because you have an understanding that nothing is guaranteed. And everything has been by faith, by hope, by choice, by chance. So the awareness, listen, here's what I'm telling you, I'm going to blow your mind. When you come back to self, you come back to God. So you're putting God first because the kingdom of God is within you. So then, therefore, when you pour self-love, when you give time to yourself, when you give space to yourself, when you develop that space between you and God and your spiritual reality, your spiritual connection, everything falls in place in reflection. Because you're putting God first, which is putting yourself first. That's self-love. That's your reflection. Your reflection is God's love. So now you have the understanding of how the universe works as a whole. Remember, we work on wholeness. We don't just work on the mind. We are here to heal mind, body, and soul, one spirit at a time. That's what Four Corners Healing was built upon, the precipice. And if you look at my label, it says my brand is founded on faith, built in Gaia. That didn't come from me. This was built, founded on faith, built in Gaia 6 years ago. If I can walk in the faith of the universe and walk in the understandings of what I've been taught to put first, you can too. And I am here to help you, guide you to do that with whatever that is that looks like for you. And dreams really do come true. But you have to muddle through the BS to get to you, which is when you understand the connection that you have and the connection that you bring and what it is that you're here to do. That's where dreams come true. And you're sifting through the self-identity, and you're sifting through the loss, and you're sifting through the but. Everything after but is bullshit. I will tell you that right now. I have had to eat my own crow and be through and but the bullshit every single time. When you realize that distractions are a choice, everything, even your spirituality can become a distraction, trust me. I'd rather sit with God 24/7 some days than to come out of my hiding and come out of my shell and teach the ways, because I don't want to deal with the energy that's at play. But God said, nope, my people need you. You better go show up and do your job. I put it off as long as I could till 12 noon. There it was. I sat with myself and I sat with God and I did what I needed to do. I literally put out an entire collective message just pertinent to the YouTube community because that's what I was told to do. And it has to do with the blessings that you're open to receive because you understand the universal ways in which work for you. This is the higher consciousness. Well, a piece of it, I should say. This is when you are in understanding of so many things and your mind's going to be blown here, guys. Soon it's going to be blown. You are in a place and of a space where you are in pure alignment. I remember, I don't even know where it is. Maybe it's over here. There was something that was channeled through me. I think it was weeks ago. It's in the purple one, if I can remember. The Holy Sanctuary. I know a few people in here remember that. I don't know. Hold on. Welcome home to the Holy Sanctuary, right? The new you. Hold on. That's this next season is all about freedom and the path you choose finally chooses you. Puzzle pieces fitting together. Nothing left will be unused, mistreated, or abused. Welcome to the Holy Sanctuary, the new you. There it is. This next season is all about freedom and the path you choose finally chooses you. Puzzle pieces fitting together. Nothing left will be unused. Nothing left will be unused, which means all the pieces of you, all the pieces of your soul that are left are never going to be unused. You're whole already, right? You just had to understand what they reflect and what they represent. Mistreated or abused. So your energies will no longer be mistreated because you've learned the weight of carrying your own water and what it means to waste a single drop. And they said drippity drop, okay? Or abused, which means you will no longer disrespect yourself in order for others to disrespect you. This is not egoic. This is understanding that what I put my energy to is going to give me some type of reflection of energy back to me. It just depends, my reflection, my energy, my frequency of, and however that energy responds is a reflection of me, but it doesn't mean that it's a reflection of me from that space. It could be a past reflection of me. But now you are in alignment and the path you choose finally chooses you. Why? Because you... This goes deeper than way any of you can probably perceive at this time in nature, but I'm going to do the best that I can. Think about it like this, and this is how I teach my mentees, okay? So your soul is basically your dharmas, the whole that you are when you come here with everything that you've learned, right? Your Akashic is a whole. Your spirit is what has come here to have that personality, the character, the insights, right? To merge with the soul. This is the piece of you, the spirit, your heart, right? Okay, because in Native American, we talk about the heart being the spirit, and the heart and the spirit go out to figure things out at night, which is astral, okay? So the spirit, some refer to that as higher self, so let me not confuse people, okay? So I want to break it down. So the spirit is the higher self, okay, that came here to merge with the soul as a whole when it transitions its consciousness. So your dharma, things that you pass, like, you know how they say we come into this lifetime with stuff that we have to learn and we have to go through, right? Well, some of that is that. But think about all that knowledge, that wisdom, that experience that you're remembering, that you're reigniting when you start to wake the chakra system up and you start to remember what you are, not who you are. So then your karma is your experiences this lifetime and the seeds that you've sown this lifetime. So then you transcend in merges. So when you merge with your spirit, you're merging with your higher self, your soul, right? So then they're talking about when you've done that, you've also then, this is why you hear you've broken all your generational curses. Because your generational curses are entwined with that. You understand that you are part interstellar, which means you're part Anunnaki. You understand that that's who came down here and mated with the women that were here to birth that ancestry and the giants and so on and so forth, right? The mysticism of heavens were the crystals, were the mysteries of heaven, right? And they taught us those things. That's why we know all the esoterics that we do. That's why Azrael taught about body suits, and he taught about the coppers and the metals. And then the leader, which started with an S, he taught about the crystals and taught about war and how to make weapons. And that's one of the reasons that the Creator didn't want us to have those teachings yet, is because he knew that we would use them for not good things. And look at what's happened esoterically. It's all been a spiritual game. This is why we've had to pull ourselves out of slavery, rise up and pull ourselves out of these things. We are a part of that. You understand that, right? And no, we didn't cause those things or do those things, right? But we're still intertwined in those things. Now, those that have chose to risen, here with me in representation, you have broken those generational curses. You've broken the dharmas. You've broken the karmas. You've risen to a higher state of consciousness, a higher state of being. And now, this is the transgressional process. This is part of that. You are in alignment. You have freedom. You are liberated. You have sovereignty. You have understanding of what you are, not who, and the responsibility that you wear as a creator, as the God being that you are. Because you're not only a piece of the divine, you're a piece of the interstellar beings. You're not only a chosen one because you're part of the divine and you carry that bloodline of God inside, but you also carry these interstellar bloodlines. How do you think that the Creator gathered those that carry the feather and the rose to come back again and infiltrate the light from within out to help us out? This is why interstellar beings were bred. Those that gather the feather and carry the feather and the rose. Not from these spaces, but from faraway places. Yeah, did you guys go read the document files, the document files on Martin Luther King Jr.? I read all 131 pages this morning, just part 1. I haven't got to part 2 yet. It's really fucking interesting. I mean, things that I thought were true, you know, but you don't have the proof, so you don't really try to go on assumption. But that's out there now, just so you know, so you can exclusively read that. So you were you were misread, you were never misled, because the divine was always leading you. Even if you strayed away, boom, where'd you come back to? Spirituality and the divine inside of you. Doesn't matter what pathway you choose. There's 1,000,001 pathways to get back to the divine in you. Doesn't matter what pathway, doesn't matter what energy you decide to consume. There's 21 pathways to get to the pathway that finally chooses you. So you've chosen to finally do those things. Nothing left will be unused. So you are in the transition, and they want me to tell you in this next 24 hours, this is where you're removing all self-doubt, all insecurity, where you're completely turning your provisions, okay, over to the universe, right? It hurts. Yeah, I know. It hurts. I heard some of you saying. Please do, because it's huge. It's going to probably very much so upset you. Very much so. Probably very much so upset you. Regardless of that, so what they're showing me here is this is where you have removed all limitations, all self-doubt, okay? And what you choose, which was the Two of Swords, finally chooses you. You're resting to pull this Wheel of Fortune in, which is the emotion, and the sun is on the bottom. Now, those were some of the cards that came out earlier, because the insecurity, the worry, the self-doubt, right? It's being naturally removed. Now, there's a lot of people that sometimes need a hand in activating things and remembering things and healings and stuff like that. But the spiritual awakening process is a natural process that you go through. It was never meant to be bombarded or to be abused or anybody else meddling or messing with your energy, because it naturally, or there's a natural orientation of of waking up inside, and it's all strategically aligned to your timeline. And so it's all strategically aligned for you and the frequencies and what you work with and what you believe. So it's like you're meant to see, you're meant to be, you're meant to wake up 12/12 and know what you know exactly when you know it. I had a man a long time ago when I think it was 16. Yeah, I was 16. I was in high school, and a really awesome teacher that I had. And he said to me, he said, I'm going to tell you one thing. And I said, what's that? He said, I'm going to tell you, if you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, when you're supposed to be doing, how you're supposed to be doing it, you'll never be in trouble again. So I followed that for about 2 years until I just got out of high school, just to make everybody happy around me. And I turned that around. And I turned that around in my life going, I know exactly what I need to know, when I need to know it, how I need to know it. Other than that, I know nothing. Because I was the type of person that I was so in tune, I would already know how things would end. But then also, there was a piece of my ego that was projecting and assuming. So then, therefore, I had to really come together and understand that space to detach that space. So you've taken accountability. You're taking accountability at what you block right now, right? So any insecurities, any self-doubt, any insecurities about how you feel about yourself, any insecurities about how you look, any insecurities about, your relationships, your worth, what you connect to, it's all being removed. This new moon is huge. This new moon in Aquarius is huge. Huge. We are in the golden age. This is a reason why we're here. Okay? Somebody said the other day, I was in another lab, and somebody said the other day, well, we need to do this and we need to do that. And I said, no, we don't. All we need to do is hold the frequency. We don't need to do anything. It's already being done. We hold the frequency. We've already done everything that we've needed to do. If there's something you need to do, you will know. But I'm telling you, for a majority of us, we just get to sit and observe and watch and help those understand as they go and move through those energies being shown. So it's a beautiful process, and I'm telling you, you're way closer than you think. Okay, you can't give up yet. You're not allowed to. All right. At least me and my team won't let you, because you're really right there at the brink of a breakthrough, and the breakthrough is internal. So then therefore, what is brought to you is external. So the breakthrough is right there, and I know you're on the uncomfortable precipice, okay? I know it. You're in the bottleneck squeeze, man. It's like you're standing, bro, I get it, okay? Like, listen, it's like this. We're going all the way back, okay? See, this is why I need a motherfucking stage, so I can just do as I do. It's like, listen, it's like we're up the bat, right? Okay? We got a full fucking count, all right? We got a full fucking count, right? On the dot, right? You fucking take the bat, you hit the end of the fucking plate, and you're just fucking staring it down. You're just waiting. You're just fucking waiting. You got eye contact on. You're breathing. You're fucking sweating. Your nerves are fucking going. You're a mile a minute, but yet you can't move anywhere. But sit and observe. You're right there. You don't have to do anything. It takes me back to that one movie. I can't remember the name of the movie. Please forgive me, because it was Rookie of the Year. Thank you, Spirit. And his mom's in the stands, and he's fucking up because his arm just fucking completely just gave out on him, and it's dehinged now because they tightened all the tendons too tight, so that's why he could throw so fast, right? And so all of them came unloose and unhinged, and she's like, he's trying to believe in himself, and he's trying to have faith, right? That intertwines with the angels in the outfield, because the angels aren't going to let you fucking fall. You're too close to home motherfucking plate, right? You're too fucking close, right? So the angels are even in the outfield waiting for you to do whatever you're going to do to hit the fucking ball, to make sure the ball goes over the fence this time and you hit a grand slam, because you're not only hitting yourself home, you're hitting the people around you home too, because that's who helped you build the table, and they're mad because God is still the centerpiece of that table. And you're sitting there, and she's like, and you got your ancestors around you, and they're like, hold on, just have faith. Just, it's coming. And just float it. And when they say float it, you know what that means? Float it means flow with the universal energies. Understand and know that there's nothing that you really have to do except for what is placed in front of you at that moment, at that time. Nothing else matters. But what you do in that moment at that exact time. And what did he choose to do? He chose to have faith. He chose to have faith that the angels in the outfield were going to have his back. He chose that his team was going to have his back. Even if it was a pop-up fucking ball, the catcher was going to be there to get it. Even if he fucking hit it and ground the ball, right? The team's going to catch his ass. Why? Because time and time again, when his butt's been in a sling, guess who has saved it? The very thing that they sat there and wanted to deny. There is so much disdain against the word God, against Jesus, against the spiritual identity crisis. And the very thing that you didn't like, the very thing that brought you disdain, is the same thing that's blessing you. Why? Because you came back home to you, which is it. The kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of God. Faith, trust, belief, accountability, not in what was or what is, but right now in the moment. What is it going to be? Are you going to allow the universal energies to do what they do? Or are you going to project and assume that you know what's going to happen because somebody on some app is telling you? I don't know, but I'll turn around and I'll remember where I came from. What reality you choose to participate in will choose you. And that's the moment of truth. And that's the moment of accountability. Every distraction you give yourself to, anything you put before yourself, before your connection to God, Source, the divine, Jesus, Mary, all of it. That's why Jesus could do what he do. That's why Mary could do what they do. They all had gifts. They all had abilities, not just one. Multiples. Why do you think Jesus said, do not glorify me? It is not just me. It is not just I. It is us. It is we, the seed of creation. Or did you forget? It was us and we were it. You're coming back home to God, what God truly is, the divine source within you, the connection that ensues, the breath, the moment, not what is discussed, not what's assumed, but what you know to be true. You know how many people have sat here and defied me and denied me? I see prophets. I see people that are risen up every day that are just now prophesizing things that I have said for 3-4 years. Guess what? I don't need any lifting up besides knowing what I know and knowing what I said. That's all the glory I need, is what God's already showed me, what I've already said. Period. I'm like, glad it's you and not me. You want to know why? Because I'm chosen and I'm in covering. I'm kept in hiding. I'm told what I'm told here on live to tell, to share, they can get attacked. Not me. I don't anymore. I know. It's all a matter of time. Just sit back, watch the show. From 2025 to 2030, it's the downfall and the rebuild. Don't get worried. It's all transitioning. The level of spiritual consciousness, the level of awareness, the level of what is, what's going to be, and what is not, is all going to be shown. The golden age, the age of Aquarius, things that you've already felt, things that you've already known, but guess what? You're going to get confirmation. The serendipity, the synchronicities, it's going to get to the point where it's unbelievable. You can't mistake it. That's the truth. You're truth seekers. So when we come here to find the truth and we do nothing but seek the truth, what do you think the universal energy is going to do? It's going to give us the truth, right? So many of us came together collectively, consciously, and was like, we want the truth. We want to know. We're the truth seekers. We want to find out. We want to figure this out. Because something inside of us is telling us that all this is made up and all this is a lie and all this is a joke. And we want to know. So we started searching. So we started figuring it out. So we started looking all around the place, right? And because our consciousness and our intent was to find out the truth, what do you think that the universal energies are doing? Giving us exactly what we've asked for. You're just seeing it on a grander scale. Now you get to interly see how it's playing out in your life. So you had to figure out how it plays out in your life first. Now you're seeing the overall picture. Some of it's going to sting. Some of it's going to hurt. It's going to fuck with your head a little bit. You might go into another circle jerk, which is what my team calls a cycle, right? But you'll be all right. The most thing that you can do is remove expectations. When we say limitations, insecurities is what they mean. Self-doubt, being afraid, being worried, about anything. That's the lowest level form of vibration that you can perceive, that you can take on. So you've had to continuously turn it over. When somebody says let it go, it's like, yeah, how do you let that go, right? So, I just sit here and say turn it over, which means this, which means in an understanding, I understand that there's some type of greater force looking out for me and that I cannot be in that energy because when I personally sit in that energy, I miss it. I miss what I'm trying to be shown. I miss what I'm trying to be told. And I miss what way to go. And that is effect. So your universal emotional intelligence and comprehension has completely changed to be on track with the universal energies. Because you've asked for that. You all asked for a seat at the table. You guys asked for a breakthrough. You guys asked to receive. You guys asked to remove the generational curses. You think God didn't hear you? It's all in front of your face. This is why we say be careful what you ask for. Remember that video I put up not too long ago about you like invoking your ancestors? And I was like, I don't know which one of you invoked the ancestors, but damn, they pissed. They pissed. Big mad, right? Big mad. Yeah. 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 It's kind of fun like that. So, the insecurities are just forms of self-doubt. Self-doubt that project and perpetuate false realities. And then you get stuck in that, right? So you're all learning the insightful awareness. And the letting go is very different because it comes with a kind of like a forceful attitude, right? It comes with like an egoic type of attitude. When I turn it over, I just know. Not because I want to. Because trust me, that the 16-year-old in me says, let it go. Them's fighting words. Them's fighting words to me. I'm a survivalist at its finest. So he tells me to let it go. I'm a bull, baby. So I had to understand that energy was not mine to take on in this reality. Why? Because that energy did not allow me to flow in the universe in synchronicities. Oh, look, there's the hawk. Sweet. Okay. In synchronicities with the universe. So I had to understand when I said turn it over, it meant that there was something inside of me that could breathe a breath of air without breathing in worry or fear for even just a moment. And when I sat there for that first moment in my life, in despair, in tragedy, my mouth all a fucking mess because I had a fucking gun butted in my mouth. That's why half my teeth are gone. With a brand new fucking baby, no place to live, no place to go, and my fucking 4-year-old kidnapped from me. That was my life in 2017. Don't think I don't know. There was one place that I could ask for one breath, that I didn't have to fear, that I didn't have to worry, that I knew no matter how bad I felt, that there was something that knew better than me, or I wouldn't be alive in that moment. The breath is understanding that every moment that you can perceive the truest of divinity, of life that is sacred, and creation that is sacred. You understand the inner G. This is why we use the word inner G, inner God. Your inner sovereignty, your inner beliefs, your inner... That's why the Hierophant kept coming out for so many of you guys, is because, yes, the Hierophant is the leader, right? The Hierophant is also the spiritual teacher. Well, a lot of you were your own spiritual teachers, and a lot of you were your own leaders, right? So in hindsight 2020, your spiritual limitations, right, is what kept you in stagnation, what you believed or thought to be true, all those types of things. So that's the energy of the Hierophant, right? But it's also the leader, because at the same time, you understand how you've become that fight of yourself. And the Hierophant tries to think of everything logically. The Emperor just does it, right? So the Hierophant had to lead itself through the doubt, through the spiritual limitations, right, to literally unwind itself, to come back to lead itself. This is why we said everything that was done to us, we had to undo and redo. Because it's the spiritual identity loss. We run around because we get cut off from what God truly is, right? We get cut off from what God truly is, and we get self-servient, we get told what we are, we get this, we get that, right? It's all part of the curses. It's all part of the rehearsed energy over and over and over again, generationally and society. We get cut off from what God is. So the only way that you can slowly, I mean, it depends, for everybody is different. So in my world, it was very slowly, it was very painful process. You know, I had to go to the dark. I had to understand what that was. I had to practice the very darkness of esoterics in which I came from in order to learn the other side of things. So hindsight 2020, when you go through the spiritual identity loss, you put your identity in everything outside of you that you think is you, but in which is not you. So then therefore you not even know what you do. Honk honk. So therefore it's an identity loss because you get cut off. You get cut off from your archangels, you get cut off from your spirit guides, you get cut off from the fables, you get cut off from what you're able to do is what's being said, right? What you're able to do, the encouragement, oh, we can't make your dreams become a reality because of X, Y, and Z. Oh, we can't help you, or we can't, or I don't think you should do that, or you're not going to be good at that, or you can't achieve that, or da-da-da-da-da, right? Cuts you off from the God self that you are. The imaginary friends, all of that, right? So then the only way to go through that process again is through relearning what you are, not who. The shape of reality of the limitations in which you've put on your vessel, in which you've placed upon you that you've wrestled with. Now you are way more spiritually aware, way more spiritually in tune of the air, of the energy of what's going on, right? What you consume, what you assume, you're moving through these blockades. That's why they showed me the collective, like busting through like 5 timelines in between, you know, shifts. And the way that my team, they dummy it down for me. They're cute. And I think that's part of just the way that they do it for me to be able to speak through it too, is they show me like on a ruler, 1 inch to 2 inches, right? And then there's all those little centimeters in between. And they showed me the collective just busting through these insecurities and busting through these conscious dreams, which are not realities that are pursued and ensued. And this is why so many people's careers and so many people's lives and foundations are changing, is because now what they presume to actually be versus what was has completely shifted their entire reality. That's a blessing, bro. Learning as you go and uncovering what you know and bringing that into a future energy of what you don't know and creating your new reality, a new reality, is what you're doing anyway. So you can feel the frequency first, you can feel the vibration first, right? And then that energy reciprocates to you. That's how you step into that energy. Well, we've been, yes, but there's way more, and you are correct. And it has to do with the planetary alignments and the planetary shifts. You know, on the blog on my website, and it's all free for you guys to go and read, and it's really cool. It tells you how this shift in awareness planetary parade has affected the collective mind, body, soul, spirit, right? And the new directives. And it's all free. You can go read it. It's really cool, actually. So me and my team wrote this all up on how this is actually shifting the consciousness of the collective and the physical of it. I called it a long time ago that we weren't going to have a president after Trump. 3 years ago was when I first said it. I was like, listen, Trump's our last president. I said it to Sable Moon Medium. I said it to a few people in this room. I was like, Trump's our last president. And they're like, I don't know how you know that. I have no idea. I don't even know how that could be. Guess what I found out? They're working on Amendment 22, which means Trump will be the last president. And I was like, there it is. I got that on my FYP this morning. I was like, mwah, thank you. I got that confirmation on my FYP this morning. I'll repost the video. But there was a woman that actually made a comment on this dude's video that said in 2019, you know, I saw that Trump was the last president, and I was like, holy shit, that confirms what I saw then in 2020, 2021. And literally, it goes into it. So everything is changing, okay? When we were saying that it was 2025 to 2030 and it was the rebuild of consciousness, there was no bullshit. No bullshit. It's what you wanted. It's what the collective consciousness has wanted to build. It's a higher state of consciousness. It's more environmentally friendly. It's more aware of what it does and the ripple effect. It's like this. It's like taking a stone and throwing it into a cup of water, right? And watching the ripples, right? Is literally what we're doing. We're watching the ripple effect of the awareness of human consciousness actually work. Choo-choo. But we're impatient. The things need to align. When we talk about things aligning, it's because the planets are aligning for the energies to be available for you to step into. Everything is already, in a sense, done for you. This is why we say you can't rush your healing. It's not because we're being assholes. It's not because, you know, we don't want to help you or we don't want to give you the magic key that goes click, click, and for you to all figure it the fuck out. Because trust me, if I can give you all of, well, I mean, I can do certain activations, but you still got to work through it to understand it, to come in tune with the energy. That's why I always tell you, whatever I say, please take it back to your team and sit with it and divine with it and feel through it, right? I can activate those awarenesses and those conscious things, but you still got to work through those things, right? That's why I say, take it back to your team. But it's huge. The shift is huge. This is what you've asked for. You asked for a seat at the table. This isn't a fable. And now you're watching it all play out. But what are they going to do? They're going to pump it. They're going to pump. They're going to... I already said a long time ago, even before it even happened, propaganda. I said Facebook was going to buy TikTok. I already knew it. I was already shown. Just watch it. Mind your P's and Q's, which means mind your projections and your mouth, because that's what comes back. You know, it's pure divine reflection. This is what we've asked for. We wanted everybody to be in a higher state of consciousness, a higher state of awareness, more everything. More everything. You know, more of everything, I guess, is the best way to say that. More of everything. And not in a greedy way. Just all the things that we know that we don't even have the adaptability to necessarily physically change, but we can change it energetically. Because watch, look what we did. I mean, you don't think God's proud of us? Are you fucking kidding me? You don't think the interstellar beings are fucking proud of us? Look at us, bro. Ever since God said, sit down. In a matter of 5 years, bro. Look at where when I started in 2019 on this app, I've had 2 accounts wiped since then because of so much that has come out. But regardless of that, in 2019, okay, to now, look at how much elevation. That's why they don't want us together. That's why they don't want all this pinging to happen. Because where 2 become 1, the 1 becomes the sum. This is why sometimes when you have conversation with frequencies that are higher than you or in alignment with you, it goes and you have all these awarenesses and stuff. It's because it's all pinging. You're opening up into consciousness. That's why so many people love coming here, because they're like, boom, oh my God, it makes so much sense. Thank you. Because pieces that they were missing come together for them. That's not egoic. That's just what's been shown to me time after time. It's a part of what I get to do. And it's really fucking cool. And this is the understanding of what we are doing and where we're at. Sorry, I had water on my desk. I know my rings were loud. I apologize. I know that hurt your ears. I'm so sorry. Okay. Look, I just cannot stop staring at the sun card. And it was... all the books that were taken out. Here we go. We are in Enoch. Where's that? I'm trying to find it here. You will cleanse the earth from... this is in Enoch chapter 10 is what I'm in. Hang on. There's a passage I want to read. And there goes the hawk. It just went, go, right past my window. Here we go. Starts in chapter, it's at the end of chapter 10, starts in chapter 11 here. Okay, this big ass book. It's huge. All the books that they took out. And it says, and this is when he was talking to Gabriel, Michael, Uriel, and Raphael. And it says, you will cleanse the earth, okay, from all oppression and from all unrighteousness and from sin and basically slavery, okay? And you will wipe it off the earth. All the children of men will become righteous, and all nations will offer adoration and praise. And the earth will be cleansed from all defilement, from all sin. Sin means missing the mark, and from all punishment and from all torment. And I will never again send them on it from generation or generation and forever. How many of you have been told that you're not coming back? You're not, body's on consignment. Well, you're on assignment now. Your body's off consignment and you're on assignment now. Does that make sense? That's why the path you choose finally chooses you. Right? The path you choose finally chooses you because you broke the dharmas, the karmas, the generational curses. So does make sense, right? Okay. Now we're starting in chapter 11. And in those days, I will open the store chambers. This is why you guys feel the blessings, the energy switch. Okay. And in those days, I will open the store chambers of blessings, which are the heavens, so as to send them down on earth over the work and labor of the children of men. And truth and peace will be associated together throughout all the days and through all the generations. Before these things, Enoch was hidden, and no one of the children of men knew where he was hidden and where he dwelt. And this is when Enoch was asked to subscribe to declare the watchers of the heavens. Okay, it's huge. All the blessings, it's literally all the things that they took out, right? And so these are the things that are ensuing, that you can feel it. They call it the wealth transfer, right? So on this app and in other places, you hear of it known as the wealth transfer. Okay. I've talked about it for probably about, I don't know, 6 months, where they showed me that like the curse, the 400-year curse or whatever had been broken because it was we that were enslaving ourselves, right? So that we were enslaving ourselves because we didn't realize, a lot of things. We were fighting with, both hands behind our back, so to speak. And so there's multiples of things. And so you're coming in, that's cute. You're coming into the righteous of ways. So you're moving into what was always meant for you, not what you thought was meant for you. These are the dreams that really do come true. The things that you were split at the seams is what was just said, right? You were split at the seams. So you can take that in a couple different ways, right? You can take that as your soul frequency was split at the seams because of the trauma, because of the torment. You can also take that as like the shift in 2000, the shift in 2012, and then the multiples of shifts since then, right? So you can take that however, in both one way, both ways, however it resonates there for yourself. So yeah, and they've always told me we're going back to the old ways, and it's a smooth transition. If my team and God has told me that it is a smooth transition, it's a smooth transition. I've gotten to talk to other big creators on this app, and recently they've been like, yep, that's exactly what we were picking up. That's exactly what we were told. And I was like, okay, cool. I like to check myself, even though at the same time, I just like to sometimes phone a friend and see what, somebody else energetically has to say when we haven't talked about it, right? I don't talk to people about things on purpose. I just let it naturally come up. And I'm like, what are you picking up? And they're like, yep. I'm like, okay, cool. So it worked. Whatever it was, it worked. All right. And it's the insecurities, the fear, the self-doubt, the worry, those things that limit your soul, that limit your being. And there's a lot more healing that moves through that space, but it all happens naturally. That's why we say you can't rush your healing. You know exactly what you're supposed to know, when you're supposed to know it, how you're supposed to know it. So a lot of people are like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And I was like, please stop telling me you're sorry. You know what you know exactly when you're meant to. It's like a kid learning, right? It's like a kid learning again. Like the child gets it when they're supposed to know it, when they understand it. You can't force them to know it. You can't force them to understand it. You can't force them to connect with it. It's all a natural process. So the spiritual identity loss and getting back to what God is internally And what that connection is and how that connection is brought through you, it's a slow process of internalization and searching for things outside of you because you want to feel God again. Thank you, Anna. I love you too. It's nice to see you. You want to feel God again. That's what it is. You want to feel that connection. You want to feel that livelihood. You want to believe again. You want to have that faith again. You want to have that desire again. And that's why the passion is ignited through the fire. And that internal desire of your soul bursting out right now, because your soul knows, man. Your soul knows, and this is why your soul's like, roar, like some He-Man Hulk shit, right? And you just like, roar. Because your soul knows. It's ready to go. But the divine alignment for you to go, it's not ready. You're just waiting for the pitch. So, it's hard to wait for the pitch, but this is where we just hold the frequency and we continue to step into what's shown before us. Okay? It's not, I could, if I say trust, that doesn't connect me very well. To me, that's kind of an empty word. So I like to actually put a lot of feeling behind the word. And so it's taking a shift in accountability of your conscious awareness and your emotional awareness and your integrity. That's what it is. Your responsibility. Because remember, with great power comes great responsibility. It's not even really about trust when you look at it that way. It's really about taking responsibility and accountability for your energy, your thoughts, your actions, knowing that there's a bigger perspective that you have a part in, that you have a hand in. And if just for one moment, you can just take a breath. Just take a breath and not worry and not be in fear. That holds the frequency. Because guess what? It's going to feel so good. You're going to want to consciously practice it again. And then you're going to want to do it again. And then maybe you're going to want to do it for longer. You really like that feeling. And then as you connect and you connect and you connect and you don't interject and you just like that feeling and you continue to step into it, it's like starting something new. If you literally sit there and you try to give up smoking and you give up drinking and you give up this and you give up that and you're going to go back to it. Small doses, this is why we get breadcrumbed, but we hate getting breadcrumbed, but this is why we get breadcrumbed. Because if we got it all in big doses, we'd run away from it. We'd reject it. That's why our connection of what God is and the divine and source energy comes back online slowly because we're spoon-fed. Because if you were hit with that power of discernment, that power of truth, that power of love, you'd run from it. I did. I did when I was 17 years old. I was terrified. I mean, yes, it was right after I got attacked by a demon and pulled out of bed by something I couldn't see, but I was terrified when that energy came in. Scared to death. I thought it was there to attack me. And when it touched me, it was so icy cold, it burned. And I could feel the tingle of that energy on my back. And it traumatized me. I was scared to death of when that energy started coming to me again. And I didn't understand or didn't know what it was. So you learn and you naturally go through these processes. So give much respect to yourself. Don't interject in these spaces, okay? Reflect. So D, we're going to do a healing here in a minute. And, we're going to do, first of all, I need to do a collective, okay, is what they're asking me to do. So we're going to do a collective healing and activation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to help you move through these last foundations of insecurities and emotions that are tied into worry or self-doubt, okay? And what this is you're going to feel a shift and a change in your energy and your consciousness in the next 24 hours. And that's how it'll show up, choo-choo, at first. Okay, it'll feel a shift of energy inside of you. Then it'll be a shift in your consciousness. You're going to have a different type of thought pattern that's going to ensue. All right, and then that's when the removal of that connection really truly begins, because when you connect the head and I'm reconnecting the head and the heart space. Reprogramming is exactly what I'm doing. Okay, from a cognitive behavioral space is what you would call that on a psychology space. On an interstellar space, you would call that emotional coding. So I'm reprogramming the DNA. Okay. And there's that disconnect there. So we're going to reconnect that synergistically so it works in tandem. Okay. In reflection to what needs to be done. And then I'm going to get into Dee's personal healing. And if any of you guys would like a healing or a reading today, I will pop back on a little bit later. Okay. So I will pop back on a little bit later. I do have a follow-up with a client that I need to do after we did some quantum healing. Okay. So I always do a follow-up with my clients. They always tell me they're doing great and they're always doing wonderful and there's such a huge shift and their health is like bam. But I always make sure that I get to sit with them and we go over things and make sure they're really okay. All right. So we're going to get started here. We're going to balance. We're going to remove those spaces as much as we can here. We're going to help you shift through the next 24 hours here, because the next 24 hours are huge as we shift into this Aquarius new moon energy. All right. And then Dee will get into your healing, and I will be back on a little bit later today, okay, to help those who would definitely like to jump into healing or reading space with me. If not, you can jump into a private space, all right, in the backdrop through the website. All right. So we've got labradorite. I really want a piece of, all right, well, this organite, I really want a piece of copper. So my organite's got copper in it. So they want me to use labradorite and copper. So we're going to work with labradorite and copper here first, energetically. All right. And then we'll bring those universal energies in. You might get some drainage down the back of your throat as I open you up and we go through these spaces. Thank you.